In this experiment we shall use the meter bridge to find resistance. For this experiment we require a 100 cm long resistance wire mounted on a ruler, an unknown resistance, we call it X, a center zero galvanometer with a jockey, a 10 ohm standard resistor, a driver cell to drive the circuit, and finally, for convenience, we use a switch. This is the circuit diagram of the arrangement. We start the experiment by switching on the circuit using the switch provided, and then using the jockey we check first for opposite deflections. Deflection to the left and to the right. So we are certain that we have a balance point somewhere in between. We use the jockey, and by touching the wire we find the balance point, that is the point where the jockey is placed such that the galvanometer reads 0. It is important not to slide the jockey along the wire, as this will scrape the wire and will change the cross-sectional area of the wire. So the galvanometer goes to the left and to the right until we get the 0. When we find this point where current is 0, we then record the length and we call this L1, and this is found to be 50.2 centimeters. We use the equation for the bridge circuit and we get an estimate for X, which is 9.90 ohm. We repeat the experiment by interchanging the connections of resistor X with the standard resistance. This is the circuit diagram to show that the resistances are swapped. So we remove the standard resistance from its connection and place it instead of the resistance X. We plug in this 10 ohm standard resistance on to the right hand side, and resistance X goes to the left hand side of the circuit. Once everything is connected, we then switch on the circuit and repeat the experiment. Using the jockey, we again check for opposite deflections and patiently using the jockey we touch the wire at different points until we find the condition when current through the galvanometer is 0. At that point the circuit is said to be balanced. We never slide the jockey. It is important to lift the jockey and move it up and move it in space and then come down to the wire. The galvanometer deflects to the left hand side of the 0. We then record this length, calling it L2, when balance point is reached. In this case, length L2 is 50.0 centimeters. We use the bridge circuit equation to find another estimation of X, which is 10.0 ohms. We then find an average value for resistance X, and this turns out to be 9.95 ohm.